Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. In this video, what I will be trying to do it is how we can build the dynamic form. So how we can create a dynamic form using the reactive forms. Let's try to see it. So building a dynamic form in Angular 18 means somewhat it is easy only. But we need to follow some steps. So let's try to have how we can develop a dynamic form. So what I was trying to tell you is, so I will try to tell you about the simple project structure. So what I was trying to do it. So here let's say that I would be having something like a dynamic form. It is a dynamic form. Okay, dynamic form means we don't know what are the elements that are existing inside this one. So the elements, what type of elements it is existing, we don't know. So let's say that it is coming from some external database or anything. So we need to define the structure. So let's say that we will be having let's say that questions thing. So if you are having a quiz questions or something like that, so we don't know what type so the same form you will be having different types of form elements you will be having. So the form, the data, the form controls, how many are you having, so those are dynamic, right? So how we can define that one? So for defining that one, so let's say that you will be having the questions. So this is our array of something like that. So the first object you will be having something like an key. Key means nothing but the form control name. So the name of this one. So you will be having the key, and the value. Value means nothing but if you want to highlight it with the value means, so you can highlight it with the value. Highlight means I mean to say pre-populating. And you can have a label. So we can have a label to show the label name, and we can have a required field. So required field also we can use it, and we can have order, in which order we need to display it. And we can have a control type, so whether it is in text box or a drop down or anything, whatever it may be. And the type, you can have a type. And if you are having options means you can have an options. Okay, so these are the different types which you can able to have it. So now, so these are the different types which you can able to have it. So now what I want to tell you is, so you can have multiple elements like this. So you will be having an object, and we need to create the object, we need to create the form using these objects. So how we can create it? So let's try to create this one. For this one, what I will try to do it is, so here in this one I will create, first one is the dynamic form. So here I will be creating a dynamic form. Let's try to create the dynamic form. So dynamic form means we will create dynamic form from this one. And let's go to the app.component.html. So before creating the dynamic form, so what I will try to do, let's try to create the project that is nothing but the questions base. So we'll try to create the questions base. So I will be creating the question base here. So here I will create a new file that is nothing but question base -ts. So question base.ts. So this is our question base, and here I will be writing export class question base. So we don't know what type of question we'll be asking, the value, which type of value we will be having, we don't know, right? So you can think of something like string. Sometimes if you are having a drop down means like string, and if you are having a checkbox or something like that means you can have the boolean value, something like that. So you can mention it as a t, and the value it defines is the t or undefined. Okay, and we can know that key is, it is of type string, and we know that label also it will be of type string. So we have discussed about these all things. Required, so this is of type boolean, and we can have another one is order. So in which order I want to display, this one is also of type number. You can have a number, order 1 2 3 4, something like this. And the next one is control type, so whether it is in text box or a drop down like that, so it is also of type string. And type, this is also of type text box or something like that. So type means input type is equal to select like that, you will be having it, right? So like that. And here you can have an options. So here options will be of type object. So if you are having a drop down means you will be sending this object key string, and also the value also I will try to keep it as a string only. So this is the object I will be having. So these are the different types of options which you will be having. So that's it. So now when you are trying to constructor, so I will try to create a constructor, and for this constructor we will be sending the values. So here I will be sending the object. Okay, so for this constructor, instead of sending all the values at a time, I will send the object. So that one will be something like options, so which is of type object, and in this object you will be having the value of type t, Okay, this will be of type question mark. So everything will be question mark only. Why? Because so those are all optional. Key of type string, and this is also optional. And I will try to copy and paste it everything. So label and all those things, and this one will options will be an array of options, and here I will be having all the details, label and all those things. So I will try to paste it here. Done. So now here, so this one will be of type the options I will be sending. So this one will be of type like this. So now we need to add it to all of them. So let's try to add it. I will copy and paste it. So I already have the data with me. So here like this I am assigning the value. So just whatever the options I am getting, I am trying to store it in this value. So whatever the values I have defined it here. So those are all the values I am defining it here like this. That's it. This is our question base. So just it's a question base which I have created it like this. So this is our object and we have the question base. So fine. So we have created a question base. Now let's try to create a service, question.service.ts file. So question.service.ts file. So this is our question.ts file, and here export class question service, and in this one, so let's say that this is an injectable. Okay, and in this one, so let's say that you will be having a constructor. No, not constructor is not needed. So let's try to have we can have a question service. So we will be calling it with an get questions. So we will be calling that with an get question. So here I will try to provide a get questions. So here, so this method will provide you all the questions. So for creating the questions, what I need to do, so this one will contain the constant questions, so which is of type question base, okay, of string. So you will be having all the things as string only. So here I will be passing the object. So the first one is what I want to do it is, so here one by one I need to provide it. So first one is which I want to provide it is an object of text box. I want to provide a text box. For this one, what I will try to do it is, I will create two base classes. That is nothing but question hyphen text box. So this one is textbox.ts, and this contains something like export class text box. Okay, I can have text box extends the question base of string. Okay, so here I want to override this one. So override the control type, and this control type, we know that this is of type text box. Okay, I will give it as a text box. That's it. And in the same scenario, we can have a question hyphen drop down. Let's try to create the question hyphen drop down dot ts file. So I am creating question hyphen drop down dot ts file. So here also export class drop down extends the question base of string. So I will be having the question base of type string, and this one also I will override the control type, that is nothing but to a drop down. That's it. So these are the two things which we are having, text box and also drop down. So now if you want to create another things, means you can create it. So here I can have something like new drop down. Okay, new drop down of. So here I can have new drop down of. So here we need to send the values. So here I can send something like the key. The key is nothing but favorite animal. So this is the form control name, and you can have a value. So if you want, you can have a label. Label is equal to, so favorite animal. Okay, so this is the label. And if you want, you can also give an options. So we need to give an options. Why? Because it's an what I will say, it's a drop down. So you can give the options. That's it. So now these are all the options, and control type will be a drop down. So fine. So now the first one is created, and next I will create a new text box. So you will be having a new text box of. So here also we need to pass the object. So object means for passing the object. So here also we can pass order 3. So in third place it needs to come the text box. So the text box also, let's say that we will be having something like, so the first name, label first name, and the value Alex I am updating, required is true and order is 1. Fine. And the another text box also we will try to add it. So new text box of, and here also the object, we need to provide the object. So I will provide this one as email address. So I can have an email. So these are the list of all the dynamic forms. So we are having a drop down, text box and a text box. So fine. So now we need to send this one, return of. So of means observable. As an observable I am sending it. Of questions dot sort of a comma b, and here I will be sending a dot order minus b dot order. That's it. So now we are sending it in a sorting way. So fine. So now this is the question service. So now in order to get the question service means where we can do it, app.component.ts file. So here I can inject the question service is equal to inject of question service. So we have injected this one. So let's try to inject. So we have injected this one. Now if I want to get the questions means questions is equal to this dot question service dot get questions. So here, so we got the questions. So this is an observable. So we know that this is an observable. Now let's go to the app.component.html file. So where is this app.component.html file? In this one, so let's remove this one, app-dynamic form. So I will try to use this app-dynamic form, and here I will be trying to send the questions. Questions is equal to questions dollar, and we will be using the async. That's it. So now we are getting an error. So let's try to import the common module. Maybe common module needs to be imported, I think. So let's see that whether the error will go away, and here still it is not going. So maybe async pipe we need to use it, I think. Let's see whether this error will go away. Still it is coming. So okay. So why this one is coming is, so app dynamic form is there, right? So let's go to the dynamic form. So dynamic form, this is our main thing, and we need to take it as an input, right? So input of questions. So we got the questions. It is of type question base of string. That's it. So now we got this one. So now maybe hopefully the error will go away. So why this one is coming is null is assigned, something like that. Let's try to keep it as an div. I don't know, ng if questions dollar dot async as questions. I am thinking of something like this. So now you must ensure the questions will be available. So now here I will try to keep it as like this, as questions. I have kept it right. So is it wrong or what? So here questions doesn't exist. So here questions dollar async as questions. What is the problem here? We are getting, okay, here the div has been closed, something like this. So here we need to keep it like this. Maybe the error will go away. Still the error is there. So question base of string is failing this error. So here let's go to the dynamic form.component.ts. Okay. We need to take it as a string here. So maybe hopefully this one will go away. Yeah. So this is not an issue. This is the issue actually. So we got the question base string. So now we need to populate it one by one here by looping over one by one dynamic form component, and we need to design it. So in the next video we will try to implement the dynamic form component. So this is how we will be doing the preparing the object, and we will be populating the form element. We will be creating the elements like that. Hope you understood about this concept. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.